Good afternoon. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee for today, January 27th. January 22nd. We've been joined by council members Cano, Fletcher, Ellison, Gordon, and Cunningham, which is a quorum of our committee. We'll begin the meeting by moving the consent agenda. This includes our liquor license approvals and liquor license renewals, gambling license approvals and renewals, a rental license reinstatement, a step-up agreement with Project for Pride and Living, applications for funding for our deed program. With that, are there any items on the consent agenda anyone would like to pull? Seeing none, I'll move the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. I'll then take up item number 12, which is the Upper Harbor Terminal Concept Plan. Councilmember Cunningham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to first say that in recent developments between Thor and its creditors, city staff now need additional time to be able to gather the facts, evaluate them, and come back with recommendations on how to best proceed. So as such, I move to postpone the staff presentation and items 12.1 through 5 until February 5th.
Okay, so Irene, does a postponement need a vote? Sure, okay. On the motion by Councilmember Cunningham to postpone item number 12, portions 1 through 5, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. On 12.6, Councilmember Cunningham.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move approval of my resolution establishing an Upper Harbor Terminal Community Advisory Committee, and I would like a moment to speak on it, if that's okay.
Please do so.
Thank you. I brought this forward as a part of this package because there needs to be a permanent mechanism to ensure that the directly impacted community is at the table beyond just me. So I want to give kind of a quick overview about what this committee is and so what folks can expect from it and the kind of work that will be done. So there'll be 13 members. 5 will be community residents with preference given to those so that there's at least one renter and at least one representative who is between 16 and 21 years old. And there will be someone from McKinley, Hawthorne, Bottineau, and Marshall Terrace, and then there will be an additional appointment from somebody who lives in North or Northeast by the mayor. There will also be 5 cultural group representatives who shall be appointed with care to consider the diversity of the membership. So the diversity is based on folks identifying as Indigenous, Latinx, Asian or Pacific Islander, African American, African, or LGBTQIA. So making sure that we have my community is incredibly diverse, and so making sure that we have that diversity reflected, and also to make sure that the folks in the communities and the neighborhoods that are most directly impacted are actually at the table. Then there will be 3 affiliate group member representatives with 1 member from each of the following groups: an owner of a business in North or Northeast, a member of the Environmental Justice Coordinating Council who resides in North or Northeast, and a member of the Above the Falls Community Advisory Committee. The work that's ahead of this committee, this advisory committee, we call it advisory, but I feel like that actually really understates the amount of work that this group is actually going to do and the amount of influence that it will have. So the work that's ahead is the group is going to be learning objective information on multiple plans of action and engaging in deliberation to do hard choice work based on trade-offs and community preferences. And then that will be giving feedback on what the development team should invest in finding out what is financially feasible. And then additionally, this group is going to be charged with leading more in-depth community engagement work. So that looks like mobilized deliberations, potentially a deliberation day, incentivized participation, canvassing, door knocking, online platforms. So really exploring whatever strategies we can to be able to make sure that we have productive community participation and that it's representative of the communities that are impacted. And with that, I move approval of 12.6.
Are there any other comments with regard to Councilmember Cunningham's motion? Councilmember Gordon.
I just am very supportive of moving ahead with this section. I think this makes complete sense. I think it will take a while for the group to get formed and get up and running, and this is obviously something big we have to work on up in the community, so I really appreciate all the thought that went into the resolution, and I'm happy to support it.
Further comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That item is approved. Now we're on to our regular agenda, starting with item number 1. Councilmember Cunningham.
Thank you. I forgot to mention that Councilmember Ellison and I will be working to host a community public hearing, community-based public hearing throughout the next 2 weeks so that we have intentional space for dialogue and conversation before the February 5th meeting. So just want to make sure we get that out there too. So instead of the public hearing being here where folks have to come, we're going to be based out in the community so folks can be there. So just want to make sure we get that out there.
Okay. Further comments? Did the mayor want to say something?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be very brief. I support both actions taken, the postponement as well as the formation of the community engagement team. Thank you to Council Members Cunningham and Ellison for their work on this and your partnership in moving this extraordinarily important project forward. As you probably know, this is the number one priority in terms of capital projects that we have right now in our city. It's a mile stretch along the Mississippi River. It's 48 acres. You don't get opportunities to redevelop sites that are previously heavy industrial and polluting to both community space and parkland like this very often, and so we want to do it. We want to do it right. So yes, I do support the one cycle postponement of the item for the city to just gather more information. It needs to move forward with a baseline concept plan, and I do anticipate that action being taken in a couple weeks from now. So thank you collectively for all of your work on this, and thank you to staff, and I think this is an opportunity to move forward with a big vision.
Great, thank you for being here. We'll move on to item number 1, which is our public hearing agenda, starting with Ms. Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 1 is from applicant SA Hospitality Management LLC, doing business as Canopy by Hilton, Minneapolis Mill District. It's located at 708 3rd Street South, and the requested license is for an on-sale liquor license with general entertainment and Sunday sales. This is a new business in this location. It will operate as primarily as a restaurant, and general entertainment allows for all forms of entertainment, including dancing, and dancing in the business plan is expected for private events and weddings, although they don't specifically have space for it. The hours of operation of this establishment will be 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. Because it's an application of a new business where there hasn't been a license before, a public hearing is required, and notices were sent to residents and property owners within 550 feet of the premises. We've received one response in support, and that was from the Downtown Minneapolis Neighborhood Association. And lead license inspector Chris Steester has reviewed it for minimum requirements and is making a recommendation to approve it this time.
Are there any questions on item number 1 for Ms. Roberts? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 1, which is an on-sale liquor license with Sunday sales for Canopy by Hilton. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Fletcher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy to move approval of this item.
Item number 1 has been moved. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. On to item number 2, Ms. Roberts.
Madam Chair, if I may, I've just been in contact with the owner of item number 2, who is running late, and he would like us to take this out of order so that he's able to be here for the public hearing, if that pleases the committee.
Okay, well, we'll take the other 3, but if he's not here, we'll have to take it and move on. We'll move on to item number 3, La Mesa in the 7th Ward.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 3 is from La Mesa LLC, doing business as La Mesa. It's located at 230 Cedar Lake Road South in Minneapolis. They are requesting an upgrade of license they currently have an on-sale wine license strong beer. They've operated with that since January of 2018. The requested license is for an on-sale liquor license with the same level of entertainment, or I'm sorry, an upgrade of entertainment to limited entertainment before they had a Class E. The operation of the business will maintain the same types of operation as a restaurant with the same hours and the same business plan. The applicant was hoping that with a limited entertainment, that on an occasional basis, they would be able to offer some entertainment offerings that they haven't in the past. The public hearing is required for this application. Public hearing notices were sent to residents and property owners 600 feet of the premises. We've received 19 responses. Of those, we had 6 responses that had concerns about noise and noise level. And specifically, the noise was if the windows were open and amplified sound were able to be allowed. One of the applicants, or one of the respondents that had that concern, said that they currently have no concerns about the activity now and the noise that emanates from them now. They're just concerned as they increase maybe some entertainment offerings. The applicant has a noise plan and is aware of the regulations, and we do not believe that they would be in violation. The inspector is Phil Cotterill and is making a recommendation to approve it this time.
Are there any questions for staff on item number 3? Seeing none, this is a public hearing on item number 3, which is an upgrade to an on-sale liquor with Sunday sales license with limited entertainment for La Mesa. Is anyone here to speak to this issue?
Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Mailer. I am a property owner, close to La Mesa, and I'll first say that my wife and I are big fans of this restaurant, and the owners were regulars there. The owners are terrific. So in general, we support what they're asking for, but we do have concerns, and I'm not one of the people who filed a concern in advance, so I think the neighbors who are close by are concerned. I think our concerns mainly have to do with potential noise, parking, and for me, potential changes of ownership. These owners are great. They are residents of the neighborhood. It would be nice to see that any change of control would require an additional consent. The other thing that may not be clear from just that description is that this property doesn't have windows. It has very large garage doors. So when the garage doors are open, it will be loud if the music is amplified too loud inside. So we're concerned about that. The other thing is that the property has several underused spaces nearby. So this is a small restaurant. It could become bigger just by having changes in leases if the landlord were to grant that. So I just ask that the council look closely at this, make sure that there are mainly concerned about the entertainment side of it, not the liquor side of it, that there are appropriate controls in place to make sure that neighbors who are close by aren't unduly affected by it. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Roberts, can you address the question of whether or not the liquor license with its current, should this be approved, if the license with its limited entertainment would just transfer to anyone else who would buy the restaurant and or operate that restaurant or a different one at this location?
Yes, Madam Chair. If someone were to make an application as a new proprietor at this establishment with the same level of entertainment, they'd have to make an application, but there would not be a public hearing requirement. Now, I know that the concerned resident just was talking about how there's open spaces next to it, and if they were to expand the business, there would be a public hearing requirement for that.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Please step forward, Ann. State your name and address for the record.
Ann Carlson-Yunga. I'm one of the co-owners with my husband. I guess I just, I appreciate the, I appreciate the questions from the neighborhood. we've had a really good relationship with all of our neighbors. We live within a couple of blocks of the restaurant as well, so it is really important to us on many levels to maintain that good relationship with our neighbors. We're glad to have people asking questions to further understand, since the information they received was just general information about the nature of the license in general and not specific to our plan. So certainly our plan would be to continue to run the restaurant as we have been, which I think has been considered an amenity within the neighborhood. And if people had concerns, we'd be very open to them. I think you have one of the emails that was sent, which I was also copied on as well, with one of the concern emails. And we would just welcome that kind of communication from community members as we go forward. But our plan would be to continue to just be a restaurant and just to provide some additional entertainment, understanding that, noise restrictions would still be in place, and having no concerns about that. So.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today. Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Oh, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Dale Thomas, 429 Cedar Lake Road South. That's about a block and a half from the restaurant. 27-year resident, I think, of Bryn Mawr. I've been following this a little bit on our Bryn Mawr Next Door site, and been seeing the reaction from the various neighbors, and I'm very comfortable that the owners are going to respond to this. The concerns about the noise, they talked about that. There are ordinances that require them to be reduce their noise after 10 o'clock, and they've kind of addressed that. I think it's been well spoken to by the owners, and I've been really pleased to see that. And I'm just here to show support that say, I think the neighborhood, it's been a great addition to have the restaurant, and I'd like to see it move forward with this. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and move approval myself. I'm doing that because I live in the Bryn Mawr neighborhood. I also live on Laurel and Thomas, so within 5 blocks of the site. And I've never seen a more responsive business owner, pretty much almost around the city, to be honest with you. This is a ownership team that really cares about what the neighborhood thinks, because they do most of their business from those of us that live in the neighborhood. And I don't see a scenario where if there weren't concerns, they would address them immediately. That has been my personal experience with them. There are houses next door to and across the street from this business. And I would like us to think about what it would be like if the business was vacant and not operating at all. It's a very tough business to be in, restaurants, and to sell liquor, there's no concern. The only concern has to do with live amplified music because of the garage doors. And I'm pretty sure that this owner understands that you have to have a very low decibel level within 50 feet of the restaurant, and should anyone complain, I can't imagine they wouldn't just simply stop the music, because they don't want the neighbors to not want to come to the restaurant. So I think the notice that went out made it unclear about what they could do versus what they would do. And I think we need, in our neighborhood in Bryn Mawr, we need to have a restaurant like this. It'd be better if we had more of them. And I think in the end, these are the kinds of things that can be resolved by the people who operate the restaurant. And in this case, they live in the neighborhood as well. So I am happy to move approval and look forward to getting my gin and tonic at the restaurant as soon as they get permission from the state. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 4. Ms. Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 4 is from Hoban Korean Barbecue LLC. It's located at 2939 Hennepin Avenue South. They are requesting an upgrade of entertainment from Class E to limited entertainment. They have an on-sale liquor license. This business has been operating at that location since 2014. It is a business that's relatively small. It has 138 seats. As they upgrade to this limited entertainment, they are not changing the diagram of their business at all or providing dance floor, but they do wish to have DJ music that's more for background type music. A public hearing is required for an upgrade of entertainment. Public hearing notices were sent to residents and property owners within 600 feet of the premises. We've received 3 responses, 1 positive and 2 had concerns about noise and parking. And it's also worth noting, in this establishment, there are not windows and or an outdoor area. This license was reviewed by Lead Inspector Mohammed Ishmael and is making a recommendation to approve at this time.
Are there any questions for Ms. Roberts on item number 4? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 4, which is an on-sale liquor license with Sunday sales and limited entertainment. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Is there anyone here from the business? Okay. Anyone here to speak to this issue? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Fletcher.
I'll move approval on this item.
Item number 4 has been moved for approval. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 5. Ms. Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 5 is from 3675 Minnehaha Inc., doing business as a How Restaurant. It is located at 3675 Minnehaha Avenue. The requested application is to expand the premise for an outdoor area, an outdoor patio located on private property. The area will have 40 seats in that area and will operate as the existing outdoor area. So they're just making an additional smaller space for that outdoor area. A public hearing is required for this type of application, and notices were sent to businesses and residents and property owners within 300 feet of the premises. And we've received 2 responses to the public hearing that I'd like to say is neutral. They were concerned about items that didn't relate to the outdoor area. So at this time, License Inspector Lisa Schmeller is making a recommendation to approve.
Are there any questions for Ms. Roberts on item number 5? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 5, which is an on-sale liquor license with Sunday sales and no live entertainment. It's an expansion of premise for an outdoor patio. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Please come up, state your name and address for the record.
Hey, Council. My name is Luke Durr. I'm with the How Daily Kitchen and Bar. I live at 3601 DuPont Avenue South. We are going to expand the back patio to have 40 more seats in the patio, and this is something that we're very excited about. And also, we serve dogs in the back patio, so something very near and dear to our neighborhood. And also, with this patio, it's enclosed with flower boxes, so the noise cannot really be heard from the neighbors, and it's also over 50 feet away from the actual space. One other thing I think with the comments we've received recently were to do with snow removal on a back alleyway, which we've addressed, and also there was some graffiti on our fence that we also took note of. So our neighbors have always been really vocal to us, which is great because we are also a very neighborhood-focused restaurant group, and so that's really near and dear to us to make sure that we address the issues right away. So
Thank you for being here today. Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Fletcher.
I'll move approval on this as well.
Approval of item number 5 has been moved. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Our last item is item number 2. Ms. Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 2 is from New Rules North LLC, doing business as The Regime. It's located at 2015 Lowry Avenue North. They are requesting an upgrade of license from on-sale wine, strong beer license to an on-sale liquor license with the same type of entertainment. It should be noted that this application was the first to inquire about the upgrade after the ballot was made public, I think at about 9 o'clock, but not the first to be approved. This application really doesn't change much about the business plan. It will continue to operate as a restaurant at that location, and no other plans have been changed about it. Because it is going to be upgraded to a liquor license, public hearing notices were required and were sent to residents and property owners within 600 feet of the premises. We've received 4 responses, 1 in support and 3 that had concerns that were more to do with the crime in the area and not to do with the business. In fact, they mentioned that the business didn't contribute to the crime in the area at all, but that there were concerns about general issues in the area. Phil Cotterill is the inspector that did the application review and is making a recommendation to approve at this time.
Are there any questions for Ms. Roberts on item number 2? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 2, which is an upgrade and on-sale liquor license at the Regime. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Item number 2, the upgrade to the Regime liquor license. That has happened already. But we'll take anyone who would like to talk about the Regime.
Hello, guys. I'm back again. I really just wanted to make a point to come.
Could you say your name and address?
Chris Webley, owner and founder of New Rules. I'm really excited. Really just wanted to come before you guys today just to say thank you. As a small business owner, I'm sure Philippe and Councilman Ellison can attest to the journey that we've been on to get here today. So I just wanted to say kudos and tip my hat, not only to the restaurant owners, but the community members for getting this on the ballot and supporting it, to Linda and her team for pushing it through. We're really excited. The first year, really for us, I don't think we really used our liquor license, quite honestly. We're really now, we just made an announcement of Pesca, which is a cafe that will be rebranding as and offering sort of a Panera type vibe with sandwiches, soups, and salads. Again, sort of playing on that concept of freshness and using food as a tool to educate the community about how we can use it to make us be more sustainable. So we're really excited for this endeavor. Thank you guys again for this opportunity.
Thank you for being here. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak to item number 2? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Ellison.
Thank you, Chair Goodman, and I will move approval of this item and say that I think Ms. Roberts will be happy now that this is over to not get calls late at night or early in the morning, but you know, I'm sure you guys will stay in touch. And thank you for and thank you for being diligent and continuing to grow this business and develop this business over North. So with that, I'll move approval.
Item number 2 has been moved for approval. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That item is approved. Seeing no further business before us, we are adjourned.